This is the Renmark to Paringa walking trail. I'm actually going to start from the other end this time, starting from Paringa. It's a small town at the end of the track. From Renmark to Paringa is probably about 4 kilometres. It's a nice little town at the end, a hotel there where you can grab yourself a meal or a drink. And they've also got a nice new bakery as well, which serves excellent food. Or even just a coffee if you want to stop. It's not a big town. Play area for the kiddies. And on the way back into Renmark, we'll walk past some fairly interesting spots, as well as the mighty Murray. I hope you enjoy the track. Paringa is also home to Cammy's Antiques. Really nice antique shop. Very big. It's surprising how much is in there. And there's a small caravan park down there as well. Paringa Caravan Park, an excellent place to stay. And if you head down Merthyr Road, there's plenty to see and do. This track takes you all the way into Renmark. Wheelchair accessible. You can ride your bikes on here. It's a great bike track. Very easy for walking. Be careful of the cracks in the concrete though. There is seating available on this path as well, which is always great anytime you need to stop. Only about 500 metres from the Paringa town centre, you've got the Renmark Paringa Community Museum. Lots of stationary motors, exhibits from yesteryear. It's a great way to spend a couple of hours, and it's only a gold coin donation. Very cheap. They spend a lot of time here, they got a lot of volunteers helping. Really well worth the visit. Directly opposite the museum, you've got Lock 5 Road. You can go and have a meal, barbecue down Lock 5 there, all free, and it's all along the Great River. Between Renmark and Paringa, you have the historic Loxton Paringa Bridge, Renmark Paringa Bridge, sorry. This bridge was actually built in 1927, and during the flood in 1956 was the only way of getting from this side of the river to the other side of the river, and that was by train. It used to be only for trains, and then later on they added the sides for cars and trucks. Just before we cross the bridge, you can see you've got nice views of the River Murray. And this is Dick's Park on the left here. They've got a fish ladder and water regulator there. Another nice place to have a picnic lunch. This bridge actually goes up every day from 9:30 in the morning and again at 2:30 in the afternoon to let the houseboats and larger boats through. The whole centre section there lifts up. You can see the concrete counterweights. They come down, the centre span lifts up, the houseboats go through. Well worth a watch. Crossing the bridge, you have great views of the River Murray on both sides. Quite a few heavy vehicles use this road. It's the main road to Sydney and Brisbane from here. Magic views. One of the reasons this track is so popular for bike riders is that the whole length is bitumen. There's no dirt anywhere on it. Once you cross the river leading back in towards Renmark, you come across the River Bend Caravan Park. Very nice park. Direct river frontage, you can park your speedboats and things there. Room for caravans, RVs, buses. A really nice park. In summer, this pond nearly dries up. Quite a few creeks cross over under the bridge, under the walking track. Surprising how many fish you can catch in these creeks as well. Only thing at the moment though is ducks in there. Another great park on the walking trail is the Renmark Big 4 Caravan Park. It's a big park, they have so much to do for the kids. They've got a bouncy pillow, slides, a big water park. Bit cold at the moment though, it's only like 15 degrees here at the moment. Games room, TV, tennis courts, basketballs, plenty of cabins, lots of places to stay as well, even for tenting. And it's all very reasonable rates as well. They've got a large swimming pool, shallow at the sides, deep in the middle. Kids just love it. And you can see the river in the distance there. And once again, this caravan park is right on the banks of the river. You can virtually tie your speedboat in the front of your cabin. It's awesome. Now you can follow this track straight on, but I'm going to take a short detour which rejoins the track in a few hundred metres. We're going to go down here. There's a separate path that takes you past the caravan park along the riverfront, and then there's a nice little boardwalk out to an island. There's also toilet blocks there for anyone who needs on the way. Just off the track you've got the Arthur Shepherd Lions Park, another nice area for barbecues or picnics. And it's also the start to the Paringa paddock walking trails. There's quite a few of them through there. It's a koala sanctuary as well. You'll see lots of kangaroos, and if you look hard, there's 200 or 300 koalas in there as well. So really nice path. Not always suitable for wheelchairs though, so a good pair of shoes. And it's several kilometres, as you can see by the plaque there, but it is well worth the look if you've got time. I'll actually do that at a different stage. I like this alternate section of the track as well, because you've got these massive river red gums. Most of them have been here for hundreds of years. This is the start of the boardwalk. As you can see, it's only short, a couple of 100 metres maybe, and takes you out to a little island out there. There's not much to do out there, but it gives you marvellous views of the river. And this is a great area for bird watching. You can also fish off the island as well. But it's a beautiful part of the river. And in the distance there you can see the caravans for the Big 4 Caravan Park. Quite often you'll see koalas in these trees as well. We're getting towards the centre of Renmark now. As you can see, the track is still following the river. It really is a nice track. It's definitely worth anyone taking. In Renmark itself there's several hotels, and on the riverfront you've got the Renmark Club and the Renmark Hotel, both of which have accommodation and meals. They have large parking places available on the edge of the road there for caravans. Not overnight obviously, but during the day, plenty of places you can pull up and enjoy the track. Opposite the Renmark Hotel, you've got the Renmark Visitor Information Centre in front of us there. And tied up near it, we have the Argo barge. It's Australia's largest floating barge, and you can access that through the visitor centre. It's got a display inside. Here's a little bit of information on the Argo barge. Just remember to pause your videos while you read this. And tied up behind the Tourist Information Centre, you've got the PS industry. This actually is a working boat. They take people out for tours almost every week. The people in the information centre here are very helpful. They have a nice interpretive centre there, and as I said, you can access the Argo barge and the PS industry through there. They'll give you all the advice on everything you need to do to enjoy your stay in the Riverland. Once again, we're directly opposite the Renmark Hotel, and look at the views. There's the PS industry coming into view, and the tourist office, the Renmark Hotel, which has been here for over 100 years. Parklands, the Renmark club's in the distance. Now I'm going to walk to the centre of town, and that's where a lot of people finish their walk, but I'll be continuing on to Jane Eliza. So keep following this. Now this is the centre of Renmark. Most people will start or finish their walk here. Nice waterfall, the town clock, plenty of shopping, and there's about 10,000 people in Renmark. Plenty of parking, and this is the old Wharf area. Plenty of wildlife, plenty of ducks, seagulls. It used to be the town wharf. Now it's a nice grassed area. Amazing views. And that's where we've come from. Now a lot of people finish the walk here, but I'll actually continue on in towards Jane Eliza. Another main street in Renmark. Ample parking here as well. And we still have the remains of some of the old wharf. And plenty of places to park your houseboat. That's where we're heading, Jane Eliza in the distance. It's a beautiful walk. Some of the old decking down there still. The Renmark Rowing Club, still going strong after all these years. This is where they launch their rowing boats. And if you pause it on these, you'll be able to read the plaques. These paths just go on forever. It's a credit to Renmark Township. They've made such a nice walking trail. The Jarrett Memorial Gardens. and a nice leafy arch which takes you to the central rotunda. It used to be the scene of dancing and bands in the old days, and they still use these grounds for carols by candlelights, weddings and so many events. And you can't get much nicer than this. And this is the old rotunda, erected in 1931. And the views are even better from inside the rotunda itself. There are so many of these small towns around that people don't visit as much as they should. But this is where the history is. On the way to Jane Eliza, you'll pass many points of interest. This is dedicated to David Ruston. And Ruston's Rose Garden is still going strong. And this is a commemorative statue to him. One of the many churches in and around Renmark. This one's still used. And this is the Anglican church. Beautiful old church. Some ducks. These willow trees aren't native to the area, but they do assist in holding the bank together, especially with the boats going through now. You get a lot of soil erosion and the trees just help hold it together. And there's some magnificent old red gum trees through here as well. More tree-lined gardens along the way. One of the features of this particular track is most of the way it's lined with gardens. It really is nice. Plenty of places to rest. And 90% of it borders the mighty Murray. Another information plaque all about irrigation. And we still have some of the old pumps here. And it's also the site of the modern pumping station as well. Now this is where the path veers off a little bit, and we're still continuing our journey towards Jane Eliza. Just have to walk around the edge of the road for a sec. Now as you come up here, you can either continue straight on, but if you want to follow the path, then veer around to the right. It's very easy to see. You just follow the same sort of pavings you've been following for most of the journey. And we'll continue down here. Just remember to pause the video at all these plaques, and that way you can have a good read. They tell a lot about the history of places. Another turn. I think the trick is to keep the river on your right, and if the path starts to veer away and then there's a path heading towards it, take the path heading towards it. That'll get you back on track again. Basically, we've just had to work our way around the pumping station and back to the riverfront. And we're continuing down here. Now this is the end of the paved area, but the track continues on for another ½ kilometre approximately. Easy walking. A little bit harder, it's probably good to turn around if you're on a wheelchair, but fairly easy walking otherwise. And it really is a nice part of the track. You get some marvellous views of the river from here. It is just so peaceful and the scenery is so nice. You will really enjoy this track. Lots of houseboats around. And these magnificent old red gum trees. And here we are at the end of the track, Jane Eliza. This is the old boiler belonging to one of the old paddle steamers. There's some redevelopment going on down there. Now you could either go back the way you've come or follow the road back, it's up to you. I hope you really enjoyed this. I mean, just look at these magnificent trees. There isn't a more beautiful park anywhere in South Australia. And as I said, the track follows the river almost its entire length. It's amazing. Thank you, and I hope I see you on more of the trails. Goodbye.